So I have 2 daughters, have 2 grandsons, and I love to watch kids experience the world. Maybe you know that experience. And I wrote this when my girls were small. It's called A Child. Is anyone immune to the smile of a child, to the unfettered warmth, the trust undefiled? Is there a soul left untouched by the joy in the eyes from a newfound discovery, a momentous surprise? I think not. For in the room wherein our true selves are found, safe from the clatter in which our innocence was downed, a common thread, no matter how slender, binds us to the joy of that smile so tender. Maybe you've been in a relationship and things didn't go as well as you wished. And you were maybe lamenting that, and you were looking back, and you were thinking about the loss. That's what this poem is about. It's called Angel Wings. Over these years, my heart has grown shutters, like wooden cataracts over windowed eyes. They keep out the light and keep in the pain. And I wonder if you're still kind after all this time. But you found where I live and come around now and again to pry at these windows shuttered by your stain. And I have mastered the art of mime. I've battened down the hatches and I'm safe and secure here inside these prison walls with a spirit tightly leashed. And I've added more bars to atone for my crime. There remains a gaping wound, a hole in my soul. At night I hear the winds whistle through it with a lonely sound. And I marvel at the extent of this treacherous rhyme. While I was looking for a place to stand, you were looking for your wings, never knowing they were renegades with a will all their own. And I think you've profited much from the flight. The angel from which those wings were borrowed is now up and about, and she is looking for a more docile set to bear you on your way. And I suppose you've not yet taken your last flight. When you feel battered from your collision with the world, understand the angel left me grounded with a quiver of words and a memory far-ranging. And it is your litany I recite. This is called An Audience of One. I speak words into the air, creating something from the nothing there. The words bleed out until they're done for my audience of one. My angel of redemption, white witch of good intention, spreads grace where there once was none. She's my audience of one. She shudders the past away, it no longer has a say, opens her heart to the sun, this lovely audience of one. A pattern of feint and thrust gives way to a voice of trust, a warrior who need not run, this powerful audience of one. Scars she's earned from battles past rest easy on her flesh at last. Old memories she's learned to shun, my victorious audience of one. So I work for AT&T. I've been there a long, long time. And we are the acronym king. And we are the kings of being politically correct in our speaking. Techno-speak rules. And one day I just sort of got tired of all of it. And so I wrote a poem called Big Words.
Yeah, we'll move for the last poem.
Thanks, Dale. It's a high-velocity air circulator, but it used to be a fan. He's now a sanitation engineer. Used to be the garbage man. Now there's adequate risk management, where we once were just insured. It's a politically correct and crazy techno-speak world into which we've all been lured. Now he's an account executive. Used to be just in sales. It's a correctional facility. Trey? No longer just a jail. He's the president and CEO. Used to be the boss. He's celebrating negative equity, since it doesn't sound like a loss. He's a senior financial consultant and not just some old guy selling stock. Sorry, Nathan. Somebody get him a tissue for that nosebleed. It's alternative music these days, not just some guys who can't play decent rock. She's really a fashion advisor. Don't think she's selling clothes. Let's be sure we get it right. We don't want to step on any toes. Whatever happened to the real names of things? Why can't we be happy with just a syllable or two? What is this preoccupation with the status big words can bring? Why can't that let me be me and you be you? Brian, you can buy an integrated audio-visual system, but don't look for a stereo. Though it may be called aesthetically challenging. It's really ugly, don't you know? We all have associates, our colleagues, but there's a shortage on true friends. And isn't it nice? We're no longer aimless. We just have goals with open ends. We're economically disadvantaged. Thank God we aren't poor. Because we're now called specialists, the big picture can be ignored. Our husbands and fathers have been dislocated. That means they're out of work. And with interactive communications, who needs people? We all know that they're all jerks. Whatever happened to the real essence of life? Where did the simple things go? Maybe it's these big words that give us such strife. Or maybe they're a metaphorical symbolism for the failure to adhere to mannerisms with which we've equipped ourselves in order to more perfectly align our lifestyles with progressive flight from known associations in the urban flow. Maybe you've been in a friendship and, again, things didn't go the way you hoped, and for whatever reasons, you drifted apart for a while. But it's the kind of friendship that when you come back together, it's like you saw each other yesterday. I got lots of you guys in this room that I feel that way about. I played with a band for 12 years, and we broke up. And that was tough. That was tough. Thankfully, we didn't know it was our last job because I don't think I could have borne it. By the way, guys, with the 40-year anniversary of the records coming up, I'm thinking reunion tour. Brian, you got your chops? Jerry, Mo, are there? Okay. This is called disband. Those we thought we'd die for, we found we can live without. But the love survives the void, and it awakens overjoyed from the periodic drought. The essence of each is now made manifest in all. Your thoughts become my own, companions unseen but known, a silent protecting wall. Memories tend to dim, emotions lose their edge. Fading imagery, longer gaps, recollections losing snap. Years become a powered wedge. Distance provides perspective. Proximity blurs the view. Clarity smeared by time. Rhythms broken, a loss of rhyme. Time to reposition and review. The purity of friendship one can never replace. Simple gifts better by far. Those who have been where we are truest reflections of our face. Perhaps the things we died for have left us without that which we wished to avoid. An idea with which we toyed changed what we are all about. But the love survived the void, and it awakens overjoyed from the periodic drought. Group on, Dale. I'm alone, but I'm not lonely, caught up in the night's refrain. I'm quiet, but I'm not silent. I hear music in the rain. I'm riding the pinnacle of the year. The lady crested today at noon. I've learned that not all truth is logic, and not all tides are birth of the moon. The pier is unchanged and stoic, witness to so many winter walks, silent keeper of embraces long past, curator of secret talks. There is magic around the edges, a quicksilver patina painted by the moon. And there walks the master of the obvious, reading meaning from the patterned runes. There are faces in the water, seen through cracks in the weathered boards. Hear the chanted caveat they offer. Not all dragons are slain with swords. I feel you wrapped around me, a shroud tattered by dreams now fled, spotted and stained, tattoos left, branded by the memories I bled. Yet I pull the threadbare remnant close around me still, and caress the mystical fabric woven from things I used to feel. Slowly I remove this garment and toss it into the sea. Sinking, it covers the faces and silences their warning plea. I turn to make my way back home, shoulders hunched against the cold, carrying with me unsaid goodbyes and secrets never told. Fall. Fall is fast approaching. I can sense it in the air. The greening things maturing, the blooming things despair. The meridian is coming. I feel a change in the wind to learn what the future holds and relive the past again. The footpaths I've run have brought me to here and now. The highway of heartache I've driven etched roads upon my brow. But a new destiny is waiting. Its birth now is pending. A new map freshly inked for a road never ending. When my daughters were born, maybe you have kids, you know that magic the first time you hold them. This is called first look. You regard me steadily with obsidian eyes, and I wonder what goes on in that tiny head. In my love for you, no boundary lies. Nothing exists I'd not endure in your stead. As you birthed, I was there to embrace your tiny form and accept the grasp of little fingers perfectly made. The smallest soul, part of myself reborn, a part of God's creation, destined never to fade. So quick to learn, so small and alert. Not for long will life's mysteries remain dark and deep. And that realization brings a deeper hurt. For I've heard it said that babies don't keep. Hang with me, we're almost done. Night watches. She prays for me in the night watches. She loves me in every way she can. She soothes my anxious spirit and calls me her beautiful man. She is gentle and wise and deep. She's my best and biggest fan. She knows where my wounds are and binds them and calls me her beautiful man. She is lovely and ever tender, in this love she never planned. She fills my soul with her morning song and calls me her beautiful man. There was a time when we were not. That time will never be again. Our journey will travel together, my love and her beautiful man. Where's Jerry Timothy? There he is. Joe's the first guy to hear this one. I interrupted him at work one day. He's like, dude, I'm in the middle of an audit. What's up? I'm like, we get an audit. I got a poem, man. He's a loner who's rarely alone, a leader being led. He's a spy whose cover's been blown, a book that's yet to be read. He's a chameleon on a leaded glass, a thinker seeking thoughts. He's a prisoner on a weekend pass, a teacher being taught. His need of roots makes him roam, thrust from darkness into light. He is a visitor to his home, a blind man teaching sight. He's a poet who is wordless, a cynic who believes. He's a judge without a judgment, a jester who grieves. His understanding is unlimited, though his compassion tends to fade. His capacity for love diminished, his edge of direction is frayed. A hunter among the hunted, a performer among the throng, a striver among the stunted, a paradigm of right and wrong. He's been where he's going before he arrives. He's never at a time. His goals have a focus sharpened by drive. His motives have reason and rhyme. A logical man in an emotional state, a perfectionist in haste, an impatient man learning to wait, a promise laid to waste. A single-minded man in a three-dimensional world, a jester who grieves.